So summer is almost here. If you have not yet made a purchase in the way of fragrance, something to keep you very bright and refreshed during the summertime, I'm really hoping that this video can provide you with a little bit of insight. These are 10 of my favorite summer niche fragrances for 2021, and all of them happen to be available at Scentsplit.com. I'm excited to get on with this list, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin this video on 10 of my favorite summer niche fragrances available at Scentsplit.com for the year 2021, I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, if you like top 10 videos just like this, but also reviews, giveaways, unboxings, and more, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. All you have to do is click on that red button in the corner. It would mean so much to me. And of course, while you're at it, make sure to give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It would help tremendously. So these are fragrances that I often reach for when I want something that's a little bit more complex, when I don't want the typical generic citrusy nondescript designer sort of a fragrance, even though designer fragrances are awesome and I have a lot of my favorites and I've been wearing a lot of them this year already. There are some niche fragrances that I have in my arsenal, so to speak, that I love wearing around this time of the year, and a lot of these will come as no surprise to the viewers of my channel because I have mentioned a lot of these in the past. And so I do have a designer video coming out soon, so make sure to be subscribed so that you don't miss that video when I publish it. But with that being said, all of these fragrances are available at Scentsplit.com. Links for all of these fragrances will be down below if you are interested in either sampling them or maybe purchasing them from the website. So the fragrance that I want to start off with is actually a brand new release for the year 2021, and this by Eccentric Molecules is called Molecule 01 Plus Mandarin. And so this is part of the M Plus collection. So they have 3, Mandarin, Iris, and Patchouli. This is basically Isoe Super, which is this musky vetiver cedarwood sort of aroma chemical that is said to have like a pheromone-like effect. A lot of people are kind of anosmic to it, where it sort of comes and goes on your skin, and sometimes you can't perceive it at all. Other times it's there and booming quite strongly. But this is added Mandarin to the Isoe Super. So it's kind of like this musky, citrusy, woodsy sort of a fragrance. I'm actually going to do 1 or 2 sprays. I'm already wearing something today, but just to get that Isoe Super with the Mandarin on top of it, it's never a bad time to wear it. And the Mandarin in here smells so natural, so lively. I love this one. The next fragrance that I want to talk about is a mainstay on my channel. I've been talking about this one for years. This one by Le Labo is called Bergamot 22. The freshest bergamot in the game, right next to Xerjoff's Neo. And there's actually a Xerjoff in this list as well. But here we have bergamot, vetiver, grapefruit, cedarwood, a little bit of orange blossom if I'm remembering correctly. It's a very citrusy fragrance containing 22 ingredients, of course, with the most concentrated one being the bergamot. I absolutely love Bergamot 22 by Le Labo, one of the freshest fragrances that you can wear in the summertime. And now I feel like wearing that one. Every time I talk about one of these, I feel like putting it on. The next fragrance is this melange of citrus. So you have the lemon, you have the bergamot, you have a little bit of like a melon vibe in here as well. You have some green notes with ambergris in the base. This one, composed by Olivier Creed, is called Erolfa. And so this is from the Creed company. And of course, Erolfa is one of my favorites for this time of the year. It has that fresh ambergris sort of a dry down that you get from a lot of their fragrances, including Millésime Imperial. And you guys know that I've been talking about Millésime Imperial on my channel for a very long time. So in an effort to try to wear some of their other fresh offerings, and Creed does fresh very well, I'm going to be wearing Erolfa this year, as I've been wearing it last year as well. And so awesome fragrance. I put a little bit of a dent in it. It was all the way up here when I got it. The next fragrance on this list is another one that is not a newbie to my channel, by BDK Parfums. This is called Citrus Riviera. Now this is a really unique composition, I believe by Ralph Schweiger, who's a very accomplished perfumer. This has fig leaf, strawberry, tons of citrus in here. It's this very bright, fulfilling sort of a citrus fragrance. Reminds you of, and I've never been there personally, but it's supposed to evoke this feeling of being along the French Riviera, and you have the citrus groves, and it's so bright and citrusy and so uplifting. I love this one so much. Celle d'Argent is also another great one if you're into like the clean, citrusy, sort of salty, oceanic types of fragrances. I love this one because I get like an herbal characteristic that I find really interesting. And it's also something that I can say the same thing about when it comes to the fragrance that's in the number 2 spot, but let's not reveal anything prematurely. The next fragrance on this list is this amazing combination of bergamot, grapefruit. You have like this leathery component to it as well. In the heart, it's this amazing blend of fir and amaretto. So it kind of has like this boozy, almondy vibe on top of this bright citrusy freshness on account of the grapefruit, and that freshness is maintained in the base on account of the ambroxan. This one by Jovoy is called 21 Conduit Street. Absolutely amazing release, the newest release from the brand, if I'm not mistaken. A phenomenal scent. I absolutely love 21 Conduit Street, which is the address of their flagship boutique. The next fragrance that I want to talk about is one that I actually featured on my list from last year, if I'm remembering correctly. I really love this one. It has a lot of my favorite notes, very much like many of the other fragrances in this list. It also contains grapefruit, but it also has incense in here. So there's a little bit of olibanum in here. It has the grapefruit in here. It's a very complex fragrance. A touch of lavender in here as well. Actually, the next 2 fragrances on this list both contain lavender, but this one by the company Parfums de Marly is called Sedley. Now, Parfums de Marly has a lot of great fragrances for the summertime. Galloway is another one, Greenlee is another one, but this one, that grapefruit and mint combination with a little bit of that lavender, the sort of ambrox thing going on in the base with that really interesting incense-like heart is an amazing fragrance by Olivier Cresp. I think co-created by Hamid Merati Kashani. It's an amazing fragrance from Parfums de Marly. Definitely make sure to check it out. The next fragrance on this list is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. It has this lavender note in the opening, a touch of fruit, but then in the heart you have this super clean violet iris combination that is just to die for. Very gentlemanly scent. This one by Xerjoff, well, Casa Morati, which is under the Xerjoff umbrella, is called Mephisto Gentiluomo. And this is the gentlemanly version of the original, if you will, but they're both super high class and elegant and gentlemanly. And I absolutely love this one. I'm so glad I purchased this one last year, and I've been wearing it a lot ever since. The number 3 fragrance is another one that I put a little bit of a dent in, and it just goes to show when you have something that is this strong, for me to have worn this much of it means I really, really love it. This one by Antonio Visconti is actually from the company Royal Crown, and it's called Celebration. I've worn a lot of this stuff, and it was full to the top when I got it. And so this is this bright orangey mint combination with Tuscan iris in here, and it's just so bright and fulfilling. Kind of reminds me of a mojito at times, just because of that citrus mint combination. It's amazing. A little bit on the pricey side, and so if you can sample it at Scentsplit.com, I would definitely recommend that you do so. Definitely one of my favorites for the summertime. And this one was actually in the number 1 spot of my list last year. The next fragrance that I want to talk about is also a newcomer to my collection. I picked it up this year, and this one is composed by Elias Hermenidis, and it's inspired by the Aegean Sea. It's one that I've also mentioned on my channel already, and this one by Nishane is called Ege. Now, I keep mentioning this because I just love this stuff. It's this bright citrusy yuzu type of a fragrance, but it also has basil in the heart. And so it kind of has like that unconventional aromatic quality about it. And I just love that combination of the basil and the citrus. It's so unique. It's so different from anything else that I've sampled. That's why I love wearing this one, especially if I'm looking for something that really stands out and something that's not going to smell similar to anything else, resemble anything else, or be generic in any way. This is absolutely amazing. And the fragrance in my number 1 spot, I actually sprayed today because I wanted to remind myself of it, and it's absolutely exquisite. For a freshie, this also contains tobacco and rum. So it has like this dark, mysterious component about it, but it has this grapefruit in the opening with tons of citrus, and there's labdanum and there's cinnamon in here. And when you look at the note breakdown with the oak moss and all of these other ingredients, you don't really expect this to be a fresh fragrance, but it's the best fragrance. I was also going to talk about Oceania by Roja Parfum, which is also another favorite of mine, but I didn't want to repeat any brands in this list. This year, I'm going to be wearing a whole lot of Burlington 1819 by Roja Parfum. What an amazing fragrance from this company. So complex with the citrus, the grapefruit, the tobacco, the cinnamon, the rum. It's just, there's so much going on in this fragrance. I'm gonna link all of these fragrances down below. If you pick up any of these fragrances this year, you'll be set. You cannot go wrong with any single fragrance in this entire list. These are all favorites of mine. I'm gonna be wearing all of these at some point this year, or this summer specifically. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate your time and your viewership. These have been 10 of my favorite summer niche fragrances for the year 2021, and they all also happen to be available at Scentsplit.com. Again, all of the links are going to be down below if you're interested in sampling or purchasing any of these fragrances. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you took something of value from this video and you're not subscribed, please do consider subscribing to this channel. Also, give this video a thumbs up. It would mean a lot to me. Thanks again for watching. Love you all, and we'll see you soon.